Okay, I don't know if you go by Zach or by John. I think it's Zach, so I'll go by that. But we finally got you set up here. That was much more roundabout than it had to be, but now you know how to do it. I'm also in the V1 Dropbox. I don't know if you were the one that had trouble with that or not, but it's DCGO, Dennis Clark Golf. And you can look for my name in that Dropbox. Send them through V1 is the easiest way. If you don't, you know now how to YouTube them. Okay, so you have a good swing. You have a nice setup, and you have a good swing. I've got a model here over there, someone of similar sizes, Justin Rose. And your swing is pretty good. Your posture looks good. It could be a little toe heavy, a little top heavy, but it's not bad. Your club's on a good angle, running through the belt buckle. Your arms are hanging down from your shoulders, chin off the chest. I like your posture. I don't have a problem with that at all. When you take the golf club away, I can't see your grip here, of course, but I'll take a look from the other side if I can get a close-up of it. Good takeaway. Hands get what we call semi-deep, a little bit past your right shoulder here, so you're back over there, right hip. That's not bad though. I mean it's still pretty good. Left arm a little bit bent, maybe. Yeah, his arms are not quite as deep as yours. He's still more mid-body, so you get a little bit further behind you. But the plane of your left arm is fine. It's on your original shaft plane. I just don't. If there are all the years that you've been playing, I don't think I'd go for the extended left arm. It's going to cause you more problems than not. So good there. A good amount of shoulder, nice shoulder turn, good amount of resistance with your hips, not too bad there. So your balance is pretty good. Club face is square, nice flat left wrist. I like all that. Now when you start down and you get to transition, this is where you lose it. Okay, there's a couple things here that we want to look at. Your downswing, you get over the top on your downswing, and it's a result of having an open club face, which is a result of pulling the club down too vertically. Okay, so the golf club in his case is right through the right forearm when the left arm is about parallel to the ground. And you can see where the club is now. So that's the number one problem that all the rest of your swing is based on. The verticality of the shaft. You can see it's going way high through the right shoulder. It's almost more near the right arm than it is the left arm. And you went from a fairly square position there to an open club face there. You see that club face? That's open now. And the more you pull it down, the more it gets open. And if we could transition you lower and more on the plane like he is here, learn to lay the shaft down, you'd solve some of the impact issues that you have from time to time. And the club gets too far outside your hand. So that's the transition. I'm going to show you another one here. Guy who gets his hands fairly deep, gets them back about as far as you get them back, which is Sergio Garcia, the great Spanish player. So if I get a line down from the depth of his hands, of your hands here to 90 degrees, it's pretty much over your right hip, and draw a line down from the butt of his club on 90 degrees, it's pretty much over his right hip. So you're pretty close in terms of how far you get the club back behind you, which is good. I kind of like that. But if you watch his hand path now and his club, I'm going to show you an interesting area that we look for in a lot of the good players. When I work with my mini tour players and state open champions, we're looking for this. We're going to put a little trace on Sergio's hands here. Okay, so we went from there to there. And we'll bring them down to about parallel to the ground with the left arm there. Okay, so let's do the same thing over here. And we're going to trace your hand path down. Okay, now there's two things that you want to notice here, Zach. Number one, in all great ball strikers, if that's a 65-degree line and that's a 40-degree line, he's got about 20 degrees of variation. I lost my line there, but I'm going to estimate it. He's got about 20 degrees of variation here to there. Okay, in all great ball strikers, the center of mass of the golf club, which is somewhere right around there, just above the head of the club. It's the head of the club plus the first few inches of the shaft. The center of mass always gets below the hand path. When the center of mass of this golf club gets above your hand path, like yours is right here, then you have to rely on two things: backing your body up and flipping your hands over. And you do a little bit of both. So if we watch your release pattern here, you'll see when you come down, it's see that? You see how much rollover you have with your hands there? That's a lot, and it's early, without a lot of body support. So you're staying back, not able to turn through. You're relying on a flip over release or a rollover release to do it. Okay, so what we'd want to do to get more consistent, and I'll talk more about this in a minute, but you want to be very, very careful with doing a video analysis as a 3, 4, 5 handicap, because I'd have to work with you privately to ensure that I could get what I want to do, because I don't want to make you prettier to make you worse, so to speak. But you can see where your clump comes from. When you pull it down that steeply, you open the face. When the golf club gets above the hand path, the square, your ability to square it at the bottom is greatly diminished. So you have to square it by rolling your hands through. When you can lay the club down, get the shaft flatter in transition, and it's below your hand path, you're in a much more passive condition to be able to go through more with your body and less with your hands and your body hanging back. So what we see here is a little bit of backup, a little bit of hang back with the body, and a lot of flip over with the hands. And the reason that we see it is because the club is coming down too steeply in transition, and you open the face. From there, because of the steepness of it, you have to hang back a little bit, and because of the openness of it, you have to roll your hands through. All based on you getting a better transition. And you could get a better transition because you're in a solid position at the top. All this would have to look like is when you get to here, I wouldn't pull them in like that and go from a kind of a shortened left arm to an even shorter left arm, making it very narrow. Your swing gets pretty narrow here. Show you what I mean. Like, that's pretty narrow. I'd like to see this get a little bit more extended out here, but definitely got to get that golf club more on plane. At this point, I would want you to have the butt of that club pointed at or outside that golf ball, and then we'd run along that line, and I'd have the club under your hands. You'd be able to square it more passively, wouldn't rely on this strong rollover, and you'd be able to bring your body through more consistently. But, you didn't get to be a 4 handicap, which is a good golfer on national standards for sure, by having, a bad swing. You've put together a series of swings here, with a series of motions here, which is very functional. And, if you're X number of years old, you've been at the game for a long time, you may say, hey, I'm just going to stay with this, But what I could see would be more consistency for you. What I'm saying would not be necessarily more distance for you. But I could see it being more, I don't like the body to be backing up and the hands to be. Now there's a little swing cone, which I'd love to bring you down in, but see, you do get outside that cone. That's an outside-in move. So it came down steep, gets outside, which is another opening of the face issue. Path, outside in as an opening face. Plane, pulling down as an opening face, and you're going to go have to rely on that strong flip over, and there you have it. See, right here, your hand should have already disappeared over here. It should have disappeared out of the way of your body like this. When he gets in this position, you don't see the hands anymore. They're gone because he cleared them to the left with his body. Okay, you can't do that. You have to swing down the line and flip over your hands because of the opening of that face. And so you kind of finish straight up in the air like this, which is another indication that you've really had to rely on the flip over with the hands. So what to do? I'll tell you what I do. In this case, the way I train better golfers with this is you go ahead and get yourself a 7-iron or something like that. You go to the store and get yourself some of those taller tees. So the ball's sitting 3-4 inches off the ground, and you raise the club up in the air about as high as the ball, and you make some swings at it. Or get on a hill, on a side hill lie with the ball about shin high, even higher if you want, and swing at that. You need to train your downswing to be on a flatter kind of circle instead of a very upright Ferris wheel type thing. So we got to get you into the ball flatter. Go ahead and play T-ball here. Instead of swinging down like that at it, let your club swing around like you saw your buddy Sergio doing here. He's the one I really, even though he's the one I love because that swing is just so good. The way he goes around like this. See, his body doesn't have to hang back. He's got a body release because, so we look at that and we say, his club is in such a good angle right here and his face is so square that he can just go all the way through it. Your club, when it starts down like this, just gets too steep, too open, and you got to back up and flip it over a little bit. So there's your swing analysis. I hope that helps you. And I would, in a month or so or 6 weeks, if you decide to dig into this, I would send me another one, and I'll take a look at it. But it's all going to be based on your plane in transition. Okay, so I have a referral program on these. Send me another student, and I give you one for no charge. And you also, my school's in Naples, Florida. Edison knows where it is if you want to get away for a few days and work on your game. I think you've got some even lower potential, but we've got some things we've got to be careful of there. All right, bye.